Hello, welcome to Eden's Fun Crochet. I'm Eden, and in this video, we are gonna make some hats.
Eden's Fun Crochet.
So I just finished this one, and I used size 8, and this is an adult size hat. For kids, I do the same amount of stitches and a different amount of rows, like length. So I'm gonna make a child's hat, and I'm gonna go down to a size 7 and see if that's better. We're gonna see how it goes. We'll see. The idea is that it's for my daughter for her birthday. She loves hats. So I'm gonna make her I'm gonna aim for four different kinds of hats. Might be 3. Her birthday's in a month, so we'll see if I can do 4 hats in a month. And they're sort of secrets, so we'll see. I mean, she's 2 turning 3, so we'll see how oblivious she is. But if she starts paying too much attention, we will have to work on this only at night when she's asleep. So this is Passionate Kelsey's beanie pattern. She has a tutorial on YouTube. So I'm not going to have Winnie pick out all the colors for all the hats, but I did have her pick out the colors for this hat. Hopefully I have enough pink. But it's also a smaller hat than the one I did before, so it should be enough. Hopefully. It was really cute when Winnie picked out the yarn. I wish I had it recorded, but this pink was right among a bunch of pastel-y colors, and she went right for it. She was like, need the brightest color in the section. This one was kind of next to it, and so she was like, that one. So I think they're cute together. So I have 2 initial thoughts working on this with the size 7 needles. First one is I think that this needle size just works better for my tension. At least that's my first impression of it. It might change once I get farther into the hat and I can see the fabric better. But as of right now, I really like the size 7 needles. The other thing, it's more problematic. There's a specific amount of stitches to cast on. And with a size 8 needles, it's loose enough around the cord that it works. This is not loose enough that my cord is too long. It's making it hard to work with because my cord is too long. But there's not really anything I can do about that because this is the smallest cord that I have. I might have fixed 7s somewhere maybe, but they're definitely not shorter than this. Not sure. I'm gonna do a few more rows and see if it's worth the struggle. If it's not, then I guess I'll look at finding something online. I just don't really have the budget to just buy needles right now. I might put this on hold and start a different hat for this series. Crochet hats. This is the only knit one that I plan on doing. I'm just frustrated because I think the 7 works better than the 8. I don't want to switch to the 8, but this cord is too long. It's too long. Hi, it's tomorrow. This is what I have so far. This hat. The cord is too short, but I'm working with it. It's not driving me insane, so we're just gonna keep going. I said yesterday that I was gonna make 4 hats if I had enough time. I remember why I thought that. Why I was between 3 and 4. I'm gonna make 3. Tyler's gonna make 1, so she's gonna have 4. That's the plan. I'm planning on making 1 knitted hat, right? So it should look like this, but shorter. With this yarn, this hat is gonna look like this, but this. The next one I want to do is a granny square bucket hat. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I guess that only leaves me one more. I might make 4 and have Tyler make the 5th one. I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna go until I feel like I'm done. And I want them to be like a variety of different colors. I want the bucket hat one to be cotton, and I'm not really sure exactly. I just want them to all be, I was thinking of doing like an animal one, like having one be like more fun, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm not gonna buy any yarn for this, so I'm just gonna use what I have. So we'll see what inspires me when we get there. I don't want to like jump ahead and start planning things because then I won't want to finish this one. So we're gonna work on this first and then we'll decide. So it's later the same day and I finished the cuff part, and instead of just having it like fold over when I'm done, I went ahead and folded it over so it's too thick right here, but then I knitted it together and you can see where on this side that is, and you can kind of see it on this side too, but it's way more noticeable on the inside because I just knitted it across because I couldn't figure out how to purl it together, so I just knit it together all the way around. And then the next row I did knit, purl, and I tried to line it up, and it was actually kind of rough. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but it was a fun experiment. Good job.
Pretend I am Daddy, and it's my turn to go on this page.
So I finished this hat in the park, and I tried it on her and it fits her really nicely. Now it's going in the birthday bag, and I'm hoping the rest of them will be more of a surprise, but we'll see. Now we need to figure out what yarn we're using to make her bucket hat with. This is all the cotton yarn that I have. I want to do 2, maybe 3 colors. So the first thing I see is this. I went through so many different options, but the more I talked, the more I knew I wanted to do the first one with the pink, and that's what I ended up choosing. There's so many options. I think I'm leaning towards this one. This is what caught my eye, and I just really like this. So I think we're gonna do this. And then the next hat will not have any pink in it. Okay, let me put this all away now. Whew, that was fun to gather because I had some over there and some over there and some over there. So now it is all in one spot, which doesn't actually fit in here because these only fit on the bottom shelf and I already have 3, like the max amount. So not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this, but I am so done with having it everywhere and it doesn't all fit. I could just have it in here loose, but I feel like they don't stack nicely. I can't always see what I have, and I pull them out a lot to do stuff like this. So I like the idea of having it in a bin. I just wish the bin fit in the, whatever you want to call this, cabinet. I want to do like a granny square bucket hat, but the vibe is loose. Like I don't have a specific thing in mind. I'm leaning towards doing like a pentagon on the top and then like 5 granny squares around. Let's try that and see how it goes. The hard thing about this though is that like she has an unaveragely large head for her age, so I can't go off of age measurements. It's hard to get it to be the right size when I'm making each hat differently, you know, because if I were to make another knit hat, now I know what size her head is and I could just keep making them that way. But every hat that I make is going to be completely different in the structure and I don't know if it's going to fit her. So that's fun. Let's start with a solid black for the center. So that's the first row. This just looks like a circle right now. And then I think we'll do this now. I think for this top one, we'll do all 3 colors and then we'll switch off. Oh, but it's 5. That'd be gross because it'd be pink, black, pink, black, pink. I don't know, we'll just make things up as we go. So far, I'm loving the way that this is working up. It is really pretty. Chocolate break. Alright, so this is what we have so far. I am loving this so much. I'm excited to how it's going to turn out. I'm going to take it to the couch and work on it there. For the third row on the pentagon, I was going to use this color, but it was like washing out this and it was making it not so, I don't know. I really like it. And so I was like, meh, put this aside, and I did the third row in black. With that said, I still wanted to use this pink. I just didn't want it next to that pink. So for the squares, I did this instead. Now my problem is that the squares are going to be touching, so I think I'm going to use black to join them together and do like a granny join stitch. I did put one of these on the top of Whitney's head and it seemed like it would work. Hopefully it's fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave in on my ends because there's a lot. And put them together and see if it still fits. And if not, then we'll undo the whole thing and add a row to each of them. But since I'm planning on crocheting them together, they'll be easier to take apart than sewing them together, I think. So, we'll see. I got a nice little pile of scraps now that I'm going to add to my scrap beanbag. Okay, it'd probably be the easiest to sew it all to the black first. Just sewing it, probably. Gross. I'm not doing it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it's doing something wrong. I want to put this on your head. Okay. It should work. We're buying Josephine a bike for her birthday, which is about $80 to $100 depending on the bike. And I was like, well, I don't want to buy Whitney a bike because she'll just get the other one that they've been sharing. And because we're spending a decent amount of money on one child, I don't want to spend a decent amount of money on both children because that's a lot of money. But I also don't want to make one child feel left out for not getting a good present. She loves hats. She wears hats all the time. So I thought I'd just make her a bunch of hats. That way she's getting more than one item. I'm not really spending any money because it's stuff I already have. And she loves hats. Like, she'll open a bag and pull out so many hats, and it will just, like, I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, like, the kid plays with the box. I feel like this is that kind of thing, where Whitney prefers the box. So why spend $1 million on a nice toy when she's just going to play with the box? And I could just give her a box. Not saying that, like, I'm not putting in a lot of love and effort into these hats. I'm just saying compared to a more expensive gift, it might feel like a box. Especially to anyone watching. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's fine. Nope, that's not it. Let's try again. I don't know how you saw that. But I wasn't even looking at the window when I saw lightning. it like flashed across my room. That was cool. I'm just kind of doing things and seeing if it works. Alright, let me show you what I have. I don't hate it. It's so hard to see it. Can you see that? So I basically just did like 3 doubles back and forth. Made that like ziggy-zaggy, and it kind of made it bigger at the bottom. I think it works. So I'm just gonna do that. This is gonna give me a lot of ends. This is only because I'm left-handed. The reason why my scissors don't work so well. Because watch this. Do it with my right hand and it's fine. We could definitely use the rain. We've had some pretty decent fires. Not as bad as last year's so far, but it's also early, so I don't want to jinx it. Ooh, saw that. I don't know if you did, but I did. So last year we had a pretty big fire. It was huge. It was like, I want to say like 600 acres. Maybe that's wrong. I don't remember how big it got, but it was pretty big, and it wasn't even that close to here. It was over an hour away, but Manti was just so smoggy. This one is much closer, but it's also just over 1,000 acres right now, so it's not too crazy. But it's also only 30 miles away instead of being like super far away. I mean, it wasn't super far away. It was close-ish, but we're just like sandwiched between the mountains, so all the smog just sits here. And then up where my mom lives, about an hour north of here, there's a slightly bigger fire that's about 30 miles away from her. That was way more visible from where she lived than from where we live. Like, we have some smog, but it's not like a thin layer of ashes on our car, and it looks like the sun is setting like 3 hours before it actually did. When I went to Alaska when I was 15, Alaska is huge, and there's a lot of nothing, and they had over 300 separate forest fires going on at one time. But if you think about it, that's not too crazy because it's a pretty big state and a lot of nothing, like a lot of uninhabited areas. Don't know if I did that the same, but it's gonna have to be good enough. So you watch this. I'm gonna use my right hand this time. Look at how beautiful that is. So we're getting there. 3 more sides to attach. I'm back and I have children. And they're loud. But they're cute. And that's the important part. No, that's not it. Attach it. And then turn it. And then do the double crochet. And attach it again on this side. Oh, right hand. Ready? Oh, it's because I was holding it backwards. Alright, one more second. Now we've got the top part of the hat. So now that that is finished, I'm gonna single crochet around the bottom.
Oh! Sorry with me. That's my heck. That's.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
You made it forward again. Can you step in it like your plumie head? That means you put your whole feet in here. This is made it forward. Watch me.
Today's the next day. I don't remember all that I showed you, so we're gonna do a lot of talking real quick. I remember I showed you some of this. I don't remember how far I was, but I did finish it, and it fits her perfectly. I know it looks kind of funny shaped, but her head is huge, but it's very like flat at the top and wide. Like, I don't know, most people's heads are more rounded, like almost like a circle. Hers is like a dome, a very shallow dome, which is perfect for this hat. This fits her really well, actually. It's a tiny bit big, but it's a bucket hat, so it's fine. So I finished this yesterday. I actually really love this. I did one row of the dark pink and then just stripes. I almost ended on a black, but I wanted one more row, so I didn't. I almost did 2 more rows, but that would have been too much. So I think it's perfect. I started the next hat. Here's a picture of kind of the vibe I'm going for. Not exactly, but kind of the vibe I'm going for. My daughter loves pretending to be a villain. She's always the bad guy when they play like superheroes and bad guys. For their birthday party last year, we did a superhero birthday party, and so I made them like little masks and capes. But every superhero needs a bad guy. And so Whitney loves pretending to be the bad guy. And she is so good at it. Like, I hope I'm not accidentally creating her backstory, her villain origin story, by telling her all the time how good of a bad guy she is. Here's a picture of her in her cute little outfit. But she is just so good at being a bad guy, and I love it so much. And so I want to make her a hat that's also the glasses, like the mask, so that it's easier for her to put on and off by herself, because she always has to have help to wear the mask, and it always ends up above her eyes anyway. So I feel like I'll fit it to her face better, and then she'll be able to actually wear it. Anyway, so that's what this is. I was like, I'll do green and black. Like, that just seems like good supervillain colors to me. But then I found this sparkly black and I couldn't help myself. I thought this would be a perfect supervillain hat. It makes me really happy. Yeah, I hate doing top-down hats because I don't do them often enough to remember like what the stitch count is to like for the increases. And every time I do it, it's always a different size. I've done baby, I've done adult, I've done toddler, I've done older toddler. And sometimes I do like a granny stitch and sometimes I do, you know, like it's always different. Every time I do it, it's different. And so I always have to like re-figure out how to do it. This seems to be really well. This fits her well. So I'm going to write it down. But by the, like next summer, her head's going to be a different size. Although, she is close to having like a normal head size. So hopefully it doesn't get much bigger. Tyler is going to make her a hat. He looked through my yarn and found these colors. So this is like a shiny purple and this is a sparkly gray. You can see when I move it. Sparkly gray. I did not give him any guidance when he started this last night because we were starting our hats at the same time. I did not give him any guidance. So he just kind of did things. And this is what he has. He is going to undo it and start over. But I wanted to show you kind of like the vibe that he's going for. I don't know if you can tell, but these are like little bobble stitches. Anyway, so I'm going to give him my stitch count and he's going to replicate that. But I wanted to show you his project, his hat, because I think it's adorable. So we've got pink and black, pink and green, purple and gray, black, mostly black. It might have green. I haven't decided yet. I might run out of yarn because this is all I have. So we'll see how far this gets me. So I think the next one needs to be orange because he likes orange. And I'm being like blinded by orange right there. Let me show you. The sun is like hitting it perfectly. It is such a bright orange. And she really likes bright colors. I wish I could show you the sun hitting it. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so I might make a hat with this. I do have a variegated orange I might pair with it, but I just love how bright this is. So I might just use this, maybe like a white, I don't know. I just want to make her all the hats, okay? I'm just happy to be making things I know that she's going to really enjoy. So that's where we're at right now. I'm working on this, Tyler's working on this, he's going to frog it and try again. We went to the park again today, and I think it's so funny how much they just love playing on the stage. They don't actually play on the playground that much, they just want to be on the stage all the time, which is fun. And right now it's covered. I think they have like a top that they take off. It's off most of the time. They only put it on when they use it for like bands and things. And I guess they decided to leave it up between Rat Fink and 4th of July, so I'm assuming they'll take it back down after 4th of July, but I guess they're just leaving it up between Rat Fink and 4th of July, which I guess is only like a month. I don't remember what weekend Rat Fink was. It was sometime in May, I think. Anyway. So it's only about a month that they're just leaving it up, which is nice for me because I can just sit in the shade of the canopy thing while they play, which is nice. But they'll probably take it down after 4th of July because they do like a live band at 4th of July as well. I should write down this pattern for Tyler. And I'll say it out loud so you can hear it too. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I'm feeling ambitious. Alright. So, first round has 9 stitches. Second round has 18 stitches, so just increasing in each stitch, right? But then round 3, instead of having whatever 18 plus 9 is, what is that, 27? 27. We don't do that. We do increase. What did I start with? 4? 2? 2. Wait, I should write that differently. I should not write numbers. Okay. Increase, double crochet, double crochet. Okay, that's better. Use real terms, not just numbers. Okay, so round 3 was increase, single crochet, repeat that. So you have 2 stitches between your increases. Round 4, we had 4 stitches in between our increases. So increase, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and that's what you repeat. So 5. Okay, wash them in the bathroom. And your face. We're just going to move on to 5. And so it's 2, 4, 5. If that makes sense. So increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repeat that. Okay, round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Alright, and then row 6, there's 7 in between. So 4, 5, 7. 2, 4, 5, 7. So increase, double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Row 7 is fun because I just do 2 increases, 1 in both sides. I don't know how many stitches we have at this point, and I don't really want to do the math. So increase, double crochet, halfway round, increase. Okay, so this is for a Whitney-sized head. She's almost 3, but she's also got a big head, so maybe like a 4-year-old. And then from there, I just crochet down until it fits the right size. So like, no more increases at this point. Cool, that's the pattern. Gotta put the hat in the bag. So now we have 2 done. My husband is playing video games with my children, so I guess I'll just hang out in here and crochet. Okay, we're gonna have a little tangent moment. So I wrote the pattern down, the pattern for the hat, right, in my crochet notebook. And then I started looking through it, and I want to share this with you. I think it's a really cute idea. I got the idea off YouTube, and I was looking at it, and I was like, when did I start this? And I think from, like, moments in time, you know, memories. I started it at the end of 2018. The reason I started this was because of Jayda InStitches. She had a video where she talked about having a crochet journal and talked about all the different types of crochet journals. Maybe I'll put the link in the description box below if I can find it. And so I started my own. It has kind of evolved over time of what I keep in here. But basically, if I'm like, oh, I should write this down, this is where it goes. I actually have another one somewhere. This one is also my crochet notebook. They have the same purpose, but sometimes I can't find one of them and I need to write something down, and so I have two, which is a little bit annoying because sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not in here, but I know it's in one of them if I wrote it down. And I bought this thinking I'd use this one up, and I probably would have if I didn't start using this one before this one was finished, because it's close to being done. Like, I've only got like a handful of pages left. And it would be filled if everything that's in here was in here. I'm just a silly head, but it's fine. Anyway, so basically, anytime I wanted to remember a pattern, pattern's a strong word, a self-written idea, I'd write it down. I wrote this one down and then decided that I wanted to start a crochet journal, so I ripped it out and taped it in here. So that's the first thing. I originally was going to tape in all of the yarn that I used for projects, but that I very quickly gave up on that. I had lists of projects that I was going to do. I hate handwritten lists for keeping track of projects. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. I use pocket crochet, which if you're new to this channel, I'm not going to go super into detail. If you're not new, then you've heard me talk about it a million times. But pocket crochet is an app that I use on my phone, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So much better than writing it down. And having like a hard copy list. Maybe if I had a hard copy list that I had like on my wall somewhere, and then just like added, I don't know. I had a really hard time keeping track of my projects until I got pocket crochet, and now I absolutely love it. Yeah, see, I have a pattern written down here, but it says it's by Jayda InStitches, and then I think I altered it a little bit. Yeah, more ideas. Some like half patterns, so like a lot of the time when I'd like do a sleeve, I would write down the others, what I did, so I could repeat it, but not necessarily what I did for the body. This is actually for an apron that I made, which, crochet apron, that's kind of a stupid idea, but I made one. Another list has half the same projects because paper lists are terrible. I wrote down a rose pattern. I don't know where I got it from, if I made it up or if I got it from somewhere, but I was trying to explain to my sister-in-law how to make one, and so I like wrote a little thing and then like color coordinated the rose so that she could see it better, and then I sent her a picture of that. This is cool. I wrote down all of the different the yarn colors that I used and the brands, so that for a blanket, so that if I ran out, I could purchase more. Which is actually really cool that I did that. I did not run out of yarn for that project, but I also made it a little bit smaller. It was a blanket. I gave up on it kind of quickly. I love this. On this page, I said I just had an idea and wrote out my idea. And then here is the rough draft picture of the idea. I actually love that. See, little like notes and things that I've added in. socks. Socks is something that I need to repeat. I actually don't write things down anymore when I make sleeves, unless it's for, like, I'm selling it. I just eyeball it. I just kind of like, this is close enough to what I did. They look the same. It's really bad. I did a calendar blanket crochet along with Jayda InStitches for 2020, I think. I think I started it in February, so I had to do January and February, which is not that hard. And then I stuck with it pretty well. I was actually like waiting for each one to come out, and then I'd like do it in a day. Back when I had no life, literally I was working at Family Dollar, and that was it. That was my entire life. It's working part-time at Family Dollar and crocheting. That's when I started my YouTube channel, I think, the first time. But I didn't really stick with it. I stuck with it a tiny bit. More ideas. Socks, again. Color ideas for yarn. I hadn't started dyeing yarn yet, but it was on my mind. I love this. This is actually really pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it's for January square that it's like a snowman. And I have it like separated. Here's the background, here's a snowman, here's parts for like to attach onto afterwards. And my handwriting is terrible, but this is actually like really neat for me. And then here is, I don't know if you can see this, but it is taped in, and then you fold it out. And this was the idea for the blanket, and that was the instructions for the January square. And so each square was a month, but that had like a holiday or a season or something attached to the month. And I only ever made the January square. Here's a drawn out idea for something that I didn't actually ever do. Here's an idea for an iris shawl that I never actually wrote up the pattern for, but I am planning on doing it one day. That's the idea anyway. This is a calendar that I decided I wanted to make 21 hats for a family reunion. It was a small family reunion because it was during COVID. It was 2020, probably. Yeah, it was that year. And so I decided that I was going to make 21 hats in 2 weeks. So you can see I had like split it. So the words are what I had planned out, and then the colors are what I did when, like, I filled it in as I went. And so you can see where it says 1, 2, 3, and then 4 was split over 2 days. So I was supposed to do 1.5 hats this day and the other half and one this day, if that makes sense. And so it worked well, actually, for, like, trying to get a lot done in a little amount of time. So I made 21 hats in 2 weeks, which I was really proud of at the time. And I would be proud of now because with 2 kids, 21 hats in 2 weeks is a lot. But yeah. I averaged like 4 hats in 3 days is what this is showing. And I do have some things in here. Like this one is, I never actually made this, but I wrote it down. This is something I want to make. I wrote down the maker. That's cool. I should look into that. Maybe I want to make it now. I have red yarn. And this is like, it's called Crimson Hood. And I think the reason why I want to do it was because it was red. So maybe I should look into that. Anyway, you probably don't need to know everything that's in here. But that's just kind of the idea. This one was like a graph for a color work thing that I was working on. Another list with that had half the same things from the last list because I suck at lists. Here is a pattern that I messed up with and then tried again. And then actually I ended up rewriting it and redoing the whole thing. Rainbow Sweater Part 2. And then I had it like all color coordinated. So since it was a rainbow sweater, each color I'd used the color pencil so that I knew I didn't want to have to write red section, blue section. You could just see. But then this part's all crossed out and rewritten all in pencil. Whoop, dropped it. Here is a little picture of something I was working on. Here's a list of like letters of like, I was doing like a repeat color. Anyway, point is, I love this thing. I love that I have had a place to keep everything and to write down all my thoughts and ideas. And some of them I never finished. Some of them are just the first 3 rows of a project that never actually happened. Or the first square of a blanket, and the idea of the blanket, or the idea of a shawl that never actually was made. But it's all here. So that if I was like, oh, I want to make that Irish shawl, what was I thinking? It's in here. Oh, I want to make that holiday blanket. It's in here. You know, like, I'm actually really happy of all the things I've written down. I'm sad I haven't written down more because I know there's a lot that is not in here, especially once I had kids. Especially once I've had kids. Here's a project that I even did all of the math for, wrote down all of the like sizes that everything would need to be. Never did it. I'm still working on this project. Ooh, Weasley sweater for Tyler. I actually did do that one. Ooh. Baby dress measurements. Got this from a YouTube on video. A video on YouTube. This is also from that same video. I don't have who it's by, like who made the video. Oh, here we go. Crochet number 13, Simona Crochet YouTube. If you're interested in having the measurements for different sizes of baby dresses. This is a really big tangent. This has nothing to do with this video, but I did want to show you. Oh, here's a little pattern drawing of a pattern idea. Children happen. Oh, I wrote down my grandma's dress pattern, her Barbie dress pattern. That's cool. Here's rainbow vest, rainbow sweater number what? 3, 4? This was a different sweater, but same idea. Another list. This one actually did work because it was more like the calendar where I wrote down everything that I needed to have done by a certain timeline for Christmas. And then I marked them off as I went. I think I actually made a calendar. Yep. Here's the calendar. Here's a list of things from the calendar that I crossed off as I went to better keep track of it. That did actually end up working out, but it's because the list went with the calendar. Here's a visual pattern. I started to draw a picture and decided I didn't want to draw the whole thing, so then I just wrote a description of it so that I could come back to it later because I knew this was a project I wasn't going to do immediately. Here's a pattern, which is actually really funny because this is actually the first pattern. I don't know if it's written out the exact same, but this says small handheld pouch. And this one says small pouch. I actually want to compare and see how similar they are. Ooh, granny heart blanket. I have a pattern for that. I think it's on my Etsy. I want to call it a blanket. Granny heart square. It's not square. Granny heart. Granny square heart. Granny. Anyway. Let's see, we're into the recent ones. Here's a bunch of math from prices and stuff for what everything I have on my shop currently. Oh. Do you see it? Anyway. And then the hat that I wrote out for my husband today. I tried doing a color coordinated list in the back of the book so that I could just keep going. Yeah, I never added anything to it ever since the first time I wrote it all down. I wanted to know every project that I had, so I wrote down everything, and I had color coordinated it, said what bag they were in, wrote down the hook size if I knew it. So I have just 3 pages in the back of my book that are filled out for that, and then here's the last one. So I have this many pages. This one has like colored sections, which has actually been really convenient because I have like patterny, like this kind of stuff here in the front, in the pink section. And then in the green section, I have YouTube stuff. And the blue section isn't yarn related at all because this was the only notebook I had with me at the time when I started this idea. And so this has nothing to do with yarn at all. And then the yellow section, this is orange. What's even in the orange section? Nothing? Well, I started in the back of the orange section. I was going backwards. Well, also non-yarn related. And then I had this calendar. This is one of the first YouTube videos I had. Not first, but like coming back to it. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, one of the ones I put a lot of work into. But I had a bunch of, I made placemats for my brother's family. And this is where I kept track of all that I was doing because I was making 3 placemats and Tyler was making 1. And then each placemat had lots of different sections. Anyway, I have a whole video about it. You can go check it out. But here's the calendar. I think the page ripped out and so I taped it in so it's like really weird. But there's my calendar. So this one is both more and less organized because there's other things in here as well than just crochet stuff. So that's my little tangent. Get yourself a crochet book because they're amazing. I really wish I had written more down. And this is as someone who I do want to get more into pattern making, but I currently am not a pattern maker. You know, I do not write patterns. I want to get there. I'm not there. If you're not there, that's fine. You do not have to be a pattern maker to write down what you do. If you make alterations to a pattern, write it down. If you're I'm never going to need to know this again, write it down because there are things that I'm I wish I would have written this down. If I was more organized, I'd have a planner and have each project that I've ever done and then all of the notes about it, which I guess is kind of what I use Pocket Crochet for. I do have more notes in there. So I guess I've low-key have started an electric, a digital crochet journal. I guess it's fine. I guess a lot of people probably do that. But I really like having this. And I like being able to look back at it. I just spent the last 27 minutes going through this and being wow, looking at all my stuff. I definitely know there are lots of things I have not written in here. that I don't even remember ever, like, I don't remember because it didn't get written down, but there are things in here that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember making that. I remember frogging that. I remember not finishing that. Here is musical notes in Morse code of my husband's name that I did in fact crochet into a pillowcase. Okay, anyway, big tangent. Let's carry on with making hats. It has been 2 days, I think. I did not crochet hardly at all yesterday. So let me show you what I did. So I went to the dentist and I had to wait for so long. I think it was like 45 minutes. They gave me a gift card because they're like, we're so sorry we're making you wait so long, which actually was like really cool. Anyway, point is, I finished. I think I got to like here, right? And then where are the eyes? So I finished this part, and then I did, when I came home, I did one more row of the black to shape the eyes, and I had run out of black, but the idea was to do green on the bottom row anyway, so it worked out perfectly. And then, so this is what I have for her third hat. Okay, going in here. So I finished that yesterday, and that's basically all the crocheting I did yesterday was those 2 rows. But Tyler did a lot of crocheting yesterday and made this hat. So Tyler finished this last night for Whitney, and he just used the same like stitch count pattern as I did for the black one. So he did it, tried on her at all. But Josephine found it and said it's hers because it's purple. And I went upstairs and she was wearing it, and I was like, hey, that's what it is. So that is hat number 4. And Tyler said he might want to do another one. We'll see. This morning, so yesterday I had pulled out the yarn to start another hat, and then I didn't make one. So let me show you what I've done so far. I have made some progress on it this morning before my kids woke up. I have been saving this yarn to make a hat. So, and this is what I have so far. This is just the top. And it like fit her pretty well when she put it on, when it was just a bag. Before it became a bag, like when it was shorter. And so I'm just going off of those measurements, like the stitch counts of the bag that I made.
Yours?
Thank you. This is the bag. So when I had a picture at some point, but I couldn't find it. So when it was probably to about here, she tried it on, and it was just a super cute little bucket hat. So I'm going to make her one. When Josephine saw me working on it, she's like, oh, you're making another one? And I was like, no, I'm making a matching hat. So that's where I'm at. It is currently 9 o'clock in the morning. We are going to Tyler's sister's house for most of the day, all of the day. So I probably won't record for the rest of the day, but I'll probably get some crocheting done. So we'll do another update tomorrow, and I'll show you everything that I did today. And hopefully we'll have a hat at the end. Like when I do the update, we'll have a hat. Will we? Probably not. It has been this many days. I'm guessing about a week. I have not finished this hat yet. Let me show you the progress I made on it. I don't remember what you saw last. Probably pretty close to this because I've not worked on it very much. I did work on it a little bit, but not a lot. I'm just starting the brim. You can see it's starting to like come out a little bit. And I want it to be relatively flat. So less, it'd be still be a bucket hat, but more like a sun hat. I mean, those are the same thing, but you know.
Okay.
So this is about where I am. I've started doing the border. So how I do it is so where I stop for the increases for the top part of the hat, I just start there for doing the brim. And I might make it a little bit wavy, but for now I'm just trying to make it come out more so that it is more like a sun hat, if that makes sense. Anyway, so that's the vibe we're going for. Working on that. And then I was kind of thinking of doing another hat, like a panda or tiger or something. But considering we're also doing a birthday party the day before her birthday, and that's in like 9 days, I don't think we're gonna do another hat, but we'll see. Little update. I've added a few more rows. So we're not done yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. This rim will definitely have to be blocked because it's curling a bit, but I am loving it. I want it to be a little bit bigger than it currently is, but this is where we're at. So Whitney's birthday is in a week. Today's Friday. Her birthday's on Saturday. It took me forever to make that orange hat, but yet I'm gonna make another one. Not the same kind. This is gonna be double crochet. It's gonna be, she's right there, so I'm not gonna say that a lot, but I chose these colors. I thought about doing a sparkly gray, but I think Tyler already used that, so we're gonna do this like blue. It's like a turquoisey blue, but it's blue.
I'm gonna build this quick. Ah!
I'm gonna try this on you. It's so big. I made it too big. Oh my gosh, it's way too big.
But it fits on Randy.
Do you think I should like sew it down? Or do you think I should leave it?
There's a teeny part of me that's like, you should sew that. Just because that way it'll stay flat.
It gets
Yeah.
up.
But I don't think I'll do it quite to her head so that she can grow into it a little bit. So that was a little chaotic trying this on her. It is way too big. I thought I measured this to her head, but it is probably a good inch too big. So it will definitely be one that she will have for a long time. I did go ahead and sew the ears down, but I did it probably like half an inch away from her head so that because it's big, she can grow into it more. So I just did little ears. But the idea is, it looks kind of funny. It actually looks really silly. But the idea is that it just makes little cat ears. See, I feel like if that part is in and like hugging my head, it doesn't look as weird. But yeah, like this fits me. And she's 3, so almost 3. So this was a little bit of a fail. I'm gonna give it to her anyway, but a little bit frustrated that I made it too big. And that is it for this video, more or less. I am going to try and record her opening it. Her birthday is on Saturday, today's Monday. So I'm gonna wait until then to finish this video. I might start editing it anyway, because it's been a month, I think, since I started this video. I don't remember. So, yep, that's hat number 5, 6. I think it's my hat number 5. I think it's makes total of 6 because Tyler made one. Thanks for watching. Hopefully here's a clip of her opening it if I remembered. If not, sorry. But yep, that's it. Thank you for watching. Which one's your favorite?
This one.
That one's your favorite?
And this one.
And that one? This one makes you look like a cat.
Let me at home.
Okay.
This is InStitches.